YouTube, welcome back. As you can see, right, we just got the tabletop today. This might be the most exciting Husky opens in a little while that we've had. I'm very excited, also a little nervous, and I'll explain why. But boom, Lord of the Rings Commander deck, the hosts of Mordor. Alright, this is the Sauron the Lord of the Rings deck. So when Lord of the Rings came out, I didn't pre-order everything that I wanted to order because I'm a dummy. So I've been waiting, and this has been around 130, 140 bucks I've been seeing it for the last month or so. And recently, I don't know why, but recently this just dropped to $80. So I ordered it from someone, and off of TCG Player, and yeah, here it is. The reason why I'm anxious to this is because it dropped so drastically and so suddenly, but also I don't know why. I just have a feeling that I'm getting screwed over here. I don't know why, but we'll see. There's so much about this that just didn't seem right to me to an extent. I'm trying to think how I should open this. To be honest with you, I think we'll just go straight from the top. Just the fact that it was like I've been seeing it for like $100. And then suddenly it dropped down to 80. It was very weird. And then I've just had a bad feeling basically since I bought it. I'm hoping that my feeling was wrong, right? And that it isn't a bad feeling. However, though, we're only going to find out one way, and that's by cracking this thing fully open and seeing. So here's to hoping that I'm wrong, and that this is actually what I think it is, or what it should be. Let's see if it comes out. Alright. So far, we are okay, it looks like. So, I don't remember this from the other one. So from the other one that we had bought, I bought the Riders of Rohan deck, which is actually a phenomenal deck, by the way. But I don't remember this, though. I don't remember that. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so the only thing I thought was weird was that. So, anyways, okay. So far, it looks like we are okay. So far. Empty box. That. The deck. This. The deck box, which we will make right now, because it's always fun to make. Right? Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. We're gonna put that right there. Boom, there it is. So this has Sauron, this has Saruman, it's white, it's black, and it's red. So this is a really interesting deck. So my whole idea with this deck, also from the same person that I bought this from, I bought this Nazgul card as well. So very excited about it. But the whole idea behind what I want to do with this is I want to make Nazgul, I want to make the bad guys, I want to make the orcs. So I wanted to buy this because I'm still not used to making commander decks. I'm okay with making 60 card decks, 100 card decks. Still iffy with. Okay, so here's the collector booster pack sample that we get with this. So far, like I said, it looks like we are okay here. And I know this has been out for a while. I know most people have probably already seen this, but like I said, this is new for me. I'm very excited. This has been a product I've wanted to buy for a while, and I just haven't had the money or the time to be able to buy it. So, all right. So let's see here. So what do we get though? What do we get? So we're gonna start off. We're gonna get Mines of Moria. All right, a nice legendary land, and it just taps unless you have a legendary creature. Add 1 red. Exile 3 cards from your graveyard to create 2 treasure tokens. And Gothmog, the Morgul Lieutenant. When he enters the battlefield, amass orcs 1 and creature tokens you control have death touch. Okay. I'll take a Mines. I'll take a Mines of Moria. So the Mines was our main card. This was just a secondary card, and this is in the scene artwork. So I'll take that. That's nice. I'll take that. That's actually really kind of cool. I dig that. Will the Mines go in this deck when I'm done with it? Who knows? Before we get into the deck, though, I will be. Let's talk through this. Sauron, Lord of the Rings. Playing the deck, Sauron's will to dominate knows no limit. This deck is designed to win the long game. Crush your enemy's armies, then command the most powerful monsters of Middle-earth to defeat your opponents. Should your own forces be defeated, remember the evil always endures. Utilize the many tools you have at your disposal to return them to the battlefield. So there we go. Sauron, Lord of the Rings, Dark Lord. The Dark Lord Sauron is being of immense power and the greatest source of evil in Middle-earth for many generations. During the Second Age, he took on a disguise and worked with the elven smiths to forge the Rings of Power, crafting the One Ring in secret. Wielding this ring, Sauron waged war on Middle-earth for centuries until his defeat on the battlefield. In the age that followed, only Sauron's vengeful spirit remained, slowly regaining his power, tirelessly seeking the One Ring to make his dominion absolute. It is wild that I was able to read as much of that as I could without messing up once. Saruman, the White Hand. Saruman was a member of the ancient order of wizards in Middle-earth and the leader of the Great White Council. I've added great in there, don't ask why, because I have no clue. There's not even great in the rest of this. So, over the centuries, Saruman's power grew along with his jealousy and obsession with claiming the One Ring. When the Dark Lord Sauron returned, he pulled Saruman deeper into corruption, making the wizard a servant of evil. Now Saruman schemes from his tower in Isengard, amassing a fearsome orc army to do his and his master's terrible bidding. Alright, so there we go. So, that is what the whole deck is. So, this deck is definitely different than what I'm going to try and build with it. But like I said, I wanted this deck to be kind of the basis, right, for what I want to build. Because like I said, building 100 card commander decks is still a new-ish thing for me. Where is the... There it is. Building 100 card commander decks is still new to me, so I'm not really on it. If you guys have any tips, let me know down in the comments. I'm still not really, like, I'm still trying to get my head around a lot of the building of 100 card decks. So let me know what your guys' tips are for how you guys build your decks, because I'd love to know genuinely, because like I said, I'm still struggling to do it. So I thought I'll buy the pre-con, then I'll have the main cards that I want. No, so I'm only making this deck with only cards from Lord of the Rings. That's the other thing I'm going to do. So I thought this was a good building spot. But we have Sauron, the Lord of the Rings. 5 colorless, blue, black, red. It's a 9/9. When you cast a spell, amass Orcs 5, mill 5 cards, then return a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. Trample, whenever a commander an opponent controls dies, the ring tempts you. And then we have Saruman, the White Hand. 1 white, and then the colors. For a 2/5, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, amass Orcs X, where X is that spell's mana value. So if the mana value is 5, it is now X. And when you mass Orcs, it's put X 1/1 counters on an army you control. So is 1 Orc. If you don't control an army, create a 0/0 black Orc army creature token first. Goblins and Orcs you control have Ward 2. Corsairs of Umbar. Target Orc, Goblin, or Pirate can be blocked this turn. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, mass Orcs 3. So 3/3/4/4. The Monstrosity of the Lake. Now this is where some of the cards I'm going to actually be removing probably from this you'll start to see, because I'm going to put more Wraiths in it. I'm going to put more Nazguls. I'm going to put Nazguls in it. I'm going to put the Ring Wraiths, the Witch King. I'm going to put Balrog in here. I'm going to put some more Orc, just basic Orc cards in here. I'm going to remove some of these cards, but for right now though, I'm going to leave these in, and I'll tell you why at the end. So Monstrosity of the Lake. Island Cycling is a 4/6. It costs 5. When it enters the battlefield, I may pay 5. If I do, tap all creatures your opponents control, then put a stun counter on each of them. Okay, maybe I'll leave that in there. Cavern Horde Dragon, which I thought was interesting, because from what I remember, Lord of the Rings nerding out here, there aren't any dragons in this age. So, kind of weird. 9, it costs 7, 2 red, 6/6 dragon. It costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest number of artifacts an opponent controls. Flying, trample, haste. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may create a treasure token for each artifact that player controls. Shelob, Dreadweaver. 3 and a black, 3/3. Spider Demon. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, exile it instead. Put a creature card exiled with Shelob into its owner's graveyard. Put a 2/2 counter. Put 2 1/1 counters on Shelob and then draw a card. Put target creature card with a mana value of X exerted while Shelob onto the battle. with Shelob onto the battlefield tapped under your control. So basically, I can put stuff around, or I can move stuff around to make this bigger, or I can just bring those cards out and then now mine. Cool. Alright, I dig that. Subjugate the Hobbitses. The Hobbitses. 5 and 2 blue. Gain control of each non-commander creature with a mana value of 3 or less. Damn. Orcish Siege Master. 2 colors and a red for an 05. Trample. Other orcs and goblins I control have trample as well. Whenever this attacks, it gets +X/+0, where X is the greatest power among creatures I control. So even if I have a 9/9 out there, I don't even need to attack with it, because I can just attack with him and he becomes a 9/5. Rampaging War Mammoth. 5 and 2 red for a 9/7. As you can see, the long game aspect of this, we're seeing it right now. Whenever you cycle this, it destroys up to target X artifacts. The Balrog of Moria. I don't know if this is the Balrog that I have, because I have like 1 or 2 Balrogs, I think. This might be one of the Balrogs that I have. Anyways, 4, 2 black, and a red, 8/8, Avatar Demon, trample haste. When it dies, you may exile it. When you do, for each opponent, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. When you cycle this, create 2 treasure tokens. Okay? So we're trying to make Grimma. Saruman's Footman. 1/4, it can't be blocked. Whenever it deals combat damage to play, that player exiles cards on the top of that player's library until they exile an instant or sorcery. You may cast that card without paying its mana value. Then that player puts the exiled card that weren't cast this way on the bottom of their library in a random order. That's kind of messed up. I kind of like that. He gets to stay now. In the darkness, bind them. This card is sick. So, as a saga, so when the saga comes in, boom, first saga step. Create a 3/3 black wraith creature token with menace. The ring tempts you. After that, we get to add another one, then another one, and then another one. And then for each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap these creatures. They gain haste until end of turn, and the ring tempts me 1 more time. So with this card, I can make 3 more wraiths. Lidless Gaze. Exile the top card of each player's library until the end of your next turn. You may play these cards. A mana of any type can be spent to cast them. And it has flashback, which means I can play from the graveyard. Lord of the Nazgul. So this is why I'm going to do it, is because I love the Nazgul, I love the Witch King, I love all the baddies from Lord of the Rings, and that's why I want to make a big old deck with this. Right, so you control have protection from Ring Bearers. So it really won't work in massive big play, but if I do suddenly go up against a deck that has a Ring Bearer, then it will help. Whenever you cast an instant or a creature spell, create a 3/3 black wraith. Creature token menace. Then, if I control 9 or more wraiths I control have a base power and toughness of 9/9 until end of turn. Gross. Moria Scavenger. Death Touch Haste. Discard a card, draw a card. If the discarded card was a creature, amass Orcs 1, and it's a 1/4. Wake the Dragon. Create a 6/6 black and red dragon creature token with flying and menace. Whenever the creature deals combat damage to a player, gain control of target artifact that player controls. I kind of like that. Gain control of an artifact. I'm just going to steal people's soul rings from now on. Put target creature card from your graveyard on top of the battlefield under your control. That creature deals combat damage. Deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. Too greedily, too deep. That's kind of gross. Summons of Saruman. Amass Orcs X, Mill X. You may cast an instant or sorcery with a mana value of X or less from among them without paying its mana cost. And it has flashback with it, which is exile X cards from your graveyard. Oh, okay, interesting. The Relic of Saruman, a nice little way to get some mana. Add any 2 of those into it for 4. Black Gate, which is a legendary land. It's a gate. It enters the battlefield, you may pay 3. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. I'll just have it land tapped for right now. Decree of Pain. Destroy all creatures. They can't be generated. Draw a card for each creature destroyed this way. The thing that only sucks about this is that it is a sorcery, and it does cost 8. However, though, being able to draw a card for each creature destroyed that way is kind of awesome. And you can cycle it just to give everything -2/-2. So depending on the situation, Languish. All creatures gain -4/-4. Living Death. Each player exiles all creature cards from their graveyard, then sacrifices all creatures they control, then puts all cards they exiled this way onto the battlefield. Man, that's just mean. So basically, Board wipe, but everything that's in graveyards comes back onto the field now. Reanimate. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose life equal to its mana value. Blasphemous Act. Deal 13 damage to each creature. Just everything burns. Everything burns. Goblin Dark Dweller. So I'm going to be removing the goblins from this and trying to put just more orcs. I just want orcs. I want wraiths. I want like that sort of a baddies. I don't want the goblins in here. So that's one of the things I'm going to do eventually with this. Menace 4/4. When it is battlefield, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with a mana value of 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put in the graveyard, exile it instead. Inferno Titan. It's a mythic 6/6. It gets +1/+0 till end of turn for 1. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. So very interesting. Noble Spine Dragon. We got another dragon. 7/5 flyer. Enters battlefield, you may discard a card from your hand. Draw cards equal to the damage dealt to target opponent in this turn. Oh, okay. So you might want to play on the second part of your turn. Scourge of the Throne. Another dragon. Flying and dethrone. Whenever this creature attacks, the player with the most life, or is tied for the most life, put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay, interesting. So it can be going 6/6 just depending on who I attack. Whenever I attack for the first time, if it's attacking the player with the most life, or tied for the most life, untap all attacking creatures after this phase. There's an additional combat phase. Boy. Alright. Yep, Scourge of the Throne, baby. Siege Gang Commander. This is the one reason why I kind of want to maybe keep goblins, is because of this homie. I already have him. In his battlefield, create 3 1/1 goblins. Sacrifice a goblin, deal 2 damage to anything. Kind of one of the reasons why I want to keep goblins, but it doesn't really fit with the amass orcs aspects of things that I want to do. So, whenever an opponent taps an artifact for mana, gain control of that artifact until the end of your next turn. I kind of find that hilarious, and I might leave that in there just for the hell of it. Hostage Taker. It's a human pirate. It's a 2/3. Enters the battlefield, exile another target creature or artifact until this leaves the field. When you may cast that card as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent on it. Okay, interesting. Notion Thief, flash for a 3/1. If an opponent would draw a card except the first they draw in each of their draw steps, instead the player skips that and you may draw a card. All right. Choked Estuary, Desolate Lighthouse. Add a colorless or draw a card, then discard a card. Dragon Skull Summit. Drowned Catacomb. Foreboding Runes. Oh. Smoldering Marsh. Frostboil Snarl. Alright, so far, I like what I'm seeing, but like I said, for the way that I want to build this, and I know that's the thing is, I guess, the way that I want to build this, I'm going to have to change a lot of things with it, and I'm fine with that. Sulphur Falls, Sulphurous Springs, Sunken Hollow, Underground River, Treason of Isengard. Alright, put up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from the graveyard onto the battlefield, on top of your library, and then amass orcs too. Bitter Downfall, destroy target creature, its controller loses 2 life, but it costs 3. Wait, this spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a creature that was dealt damage this turn. Yeah, so if it's dealt damage, boom. So that's why it has a Boromir on there. The Troll of Khazak Doom. It's a troll, 6/5. It can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. Voracious Fell Beast. The Fell Beast. Flying. And then his battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Create a food token for each creature sacrificed this way. So 4/4. Fiery Inscription is an enchantment. I really like this card. And his battlefield, the ring tempts you. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Fiery Inscription deals 2 damage to each opponent. Arcane Denial. Counter. Its controller may draw a card. May draw up to 2 cards at the beginning of their next turn's upkeep. You draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Grishnach. Brash Instigator. So Grishnach is a goblin soldier, but when he enters battlefield, you get to amass orcs too. So that's an interesting thing, because he's a goblin that amasses orcs. When you do, until end of turn, gain control of target non-legendary creature an opponent controls, with a power less than or equal to the number of amassed armies. Untap that creature, it gains haste. So basically, I just get to steal someone. Boon of the Wish Giver. Draw 4. Or cycle. Consider. Draw. Deep Analysis. Target player draws 2. Fact or fiction. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. An opponent separates those into 2 piles. Put one pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Forbidding alchemy. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest into the graveyard. And it has a flashback as well on it. Okay. Feed the swarm. Destroy target creature or enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to that mana value. I didn't realize that there's an enchantment aspect to that. I actually really like that now that I see that. Orc warrior, and in this battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. It's a 3/1. Merciless executioner. Revenge of Ravens. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, that creature's controller loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Anger. It's an incarnation. As long as Anger's in your graveyard and you control a mountain, creatures you control have haste. Oh, as long as it's in my graveyard, creatures I control have haste. That's weird and nasty. I like that. Draw 2, discard 2. Ruthless looting. The Mouth of Sauron. When it enters the battlefield, target player mills 3 cards, then amass Orc's X, where X is the number of instant sorceries in target player's graveyard. Goblin Crater Maker. Sacrifice it. Deals 2 damage or destroy target colorless non-land. Permanent. Ooh. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, a gutter snipe deals 2 damage to each opponent. Shiny Impetus. Enchanted creature is an enchanted creature, gets +2/+2 and is goaded, which means it attacks each combat if able. When it attacks, I may create a treasure token. Thrill of Possibility has an additional cost. Discard a card, draw 2. Extract from Darkness. Each player mills 2, then you put a creature card from the graveyard onto the battlefield under my control. Arcane Signet, Ballast Monolith, Commander's Sphere, Evergrowing Chalice, Mind Stone, Soul Ring, and I really like the look of the Soul Ring. Worn Power Stone, Command Tower, Crumbling Necropolis, Evolving Wilds, Field of Ruin, Path of Ancestry, and I think all this is going to be lands and... Yep, lands and... Interesting. What was in? No? Okay, there they are. I must have went past them really fast. I was looking, I was like, why is there no swamps? And then we have Orc Army, Food, Goblin, Dragon, Treasure. Boom. And then the ring card, which tells you which step you're on currently. So like I said, I was very excited that I was able to finally get this. I'm even more excited now that it is actually what I thought it was, and it wasn't a scam or, you know, not the correct product or, you know, any of that sort of stuff. Because I was worried, because whenever I see stuff like this drop just randomly in price for no reason, you know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, shit, what's happening? And then also when you buy online, there's so many horror tales, and you guys probably have seen it. You guys have either seen it or had it happen to you, where, like, you know, you buy something and it's like, well, that's not actually, you know, what I bought, or that's, you know, this company actually screwed me, or this company did that instead, or, you know, this or that, or, you know. But here's my question, though. Here's my question, because I do have question. Okay, I do have question. It may not seem like I have questions most of the time, but I have questions. Okay, so here's my question for you guys out there. If you guys have had this deck, or if you guys play the Lord of the Rings deck, or if you have Sauron as your commander, or if you do anything with these guys, right? If you have a deck that's kind of built around the way that I do, what is some of the things that you guys do or have in your decks? I would love to know. I would love to know other people's opinions on what they do with their decks with this, because I'm very intrigued. Because like I said, I want to build a pure bad guy deck. I just want orcs. I just want characters related to Saruman, and I just want Nazgul, and I just want a Witch King, basically, like that sort of thing. That's what I'm going for. Eventually, that's what I'm going to get to. Another thing I'm not going to do at first is change any of the cards in this, because this is an exciting one. Next month, for the month of October, me and my co-host Danute will be playing Magic the Gathering on the effing title, our podcast. For the effing card game for the month of October, we will be playing Lord of the Rings. We will be playing we'll be playing Lord of the Rings. We're going to be playing Magic the Gathering. I'm going to be using my Lord of the Rings deck. He is going to be using a Fallout deck. I don't know which Fallout deck he's going to be using. So I don't want to change this deck at all, because I was requested by him to use this deck. So I'm just going to use this deck just straight how it is. And we're going to play Singleton, and we're going to see how it goes. So With that being said, though, like I said, let me know down in the comments down below if you guys have any hints, tips, tricks, anything that I should be looking for regarding the Lord of the Rings cards that would work well for this deck, right? Let me know down in the comments down below, right? And as always, I love you all, and depending on where you are, morning, afternoon, even night, stay out of trouble, stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later. Okay, bye. I'm so excited. I'm so excited this was what I thought it was going to be. I'm excited that I got the mines. Overall, I'm very ecstatic. The next step now is, and I will be buying this one eventually, I will be buying the Elven Council because, let's be honest here, might as well have the Elf deck as well while I'm at it. But it's time to let the baddies have some fun.